Right now, TSA checkpoints are hitting 5-hour wait times, and for travelers over 60, this isn't just an inconvenience, it's a genuine health risk. Airlines know the lines are failing, but they aren't telling you about the skeleton crews or the new scanners triggering false alerts on medical items like knee braces. Today, I'm revealing 7 moves to beat the backup, including one red badge secret that skips the line entirely for free. Let's start with move number 7. Number 7. This is why the line got so bad. Here's what's actually happening. TSA is running on a skeleton crew. The government shutdown has pushed call-out rates up 19% at major hubs like Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson. Over 300 officers have quit agency-wide since it started. So, the checkpoint that used to run 6 lanes is now running 3. And that 20-minute wait you were counting on is now 2 hours. Sometimes 4, sometimes 5. A retired nurse flying out of Charlotte last month stood in line for over 3 hours, knee replacement the year before. By the time she cleared the checkpoint, she could barely walk to her gate. Here's the part nobody announces over the PA. A 4-hour standing wait isn't just inconvenient for older travelers, it's a genuine health risk. Before you leave the house, pull up the MyTSA app and check real-time wait times at your specific terminal. Call your airline 48 hours out and ask directly, "What are the current security conditions at my departure gate?" Budget a minimum of 3.5 hours for any domestic flight right now. And if you have any mobility consideration at all, stack a full extra hour on top of whatever the app says. Think that's the worst of it? What's happening inside the checkpoint is a whole different problem. Number 6. The scanner change nobody told you about. Here's something TSA will not put in a press release. New CT scanners are rolling out across 47 airports right now. These machines see differently than the old ones. And what that means in practice is that items that passed through security for years without a second look are suddenly triggering secondary screening alerts, adding 20 to 45 minutes to your wait on the spot. Compression socks, knee braces, insulin pumps, hearing aids, pacemakers, standard everyday items that older travelers have carried through airports dozens of times without a single flag. A man in his early 70s flying out of Denver got pulled aside 3 separate times in one trip for the same compression socks he'd worn through security for 6 straight years. 3 pat-downs, 3 delays. The socks didn't change? The machine did. Nobody told him. Airlines know this is happening. No email about it, no heads up at check-in, because an informed traveler plans differently. And that creates complications they'd rather avoid. Before you step near a scanner, declare every medical item out loud before you're asked. Compression socks and slip-on shoes come off before the belt and go back on after. And if you have any implant or device at all, hand the officer a doctor's letter and say, "I have a medical implant and I'd like to request manual screening." That is your right under federal law. And in most cases, it actually moves faster than the scanner queue. Not many people know that. Yikes. Number 5. The packing mistake that gets you pulled. Most seniors don't get flagged because of what they're wearing. They get flagged because of what's in the bag. Loose pill organizers, prescription liquids over 3.4 ounces, unwrapped gifts, protein powder, snacks thrown in loose. Every single one of these stops the belt and gets your bag pulled to the side. And enforcement has tightened significantly in 2026 because understaffed checkpoints mean officers are flagging anything that needs a second look rather than examining it on the belt. A couple in their late 60s flying out of Miami lost 40 minutes at the checkpoint over a prescription eye drop bottle 2 ounces over the limit and a wrapped birthday gift for their granddaughter. Missed their boarding window by 8 minutes. Gate was already shut. Everything liquid, prescription or not, stays at 3.4 ounces or goes in checked luggage. Unwrap all gifts before they go in the bag. Pill organizers go in a clear Ziploc at the very top of your carry-on. Immediately visible, immediately cleared. And here's the move almost nobody does. The night before your flight, lay every single item out on a flat surface exactly as it would go through an X-ray belt. Look at it the way an officer would. If anything takes more than 3 seconds to identify, it's slowing you down tomorrow. Not good. Number 4, the move that skips the line entirely. This is the one, and fewer than 1 in 10 seniors actually use it. Every major U.S. airport offers curbside check-in. You pull up outside, a skycap handles your bags, prints your boarding pass, and you walk straight to security, never touching the check-in line inside the terminal. But here's what most people don't know. Curbside agents have direct radio contact with gate agents inside. If security is backed up and your flight window is shrinking, a curbside agent can flag your boarding pass and get a message to your gate before you've even reached the checkpoint. A woman in her mid-70s flying out of O'Hare last month hit a 2-hour security backup. The skycap radioed her gate. They held the door for 4 extra minutes. She made the flight. Use curbside every single time it's available. Tip $2 to $3 per bag. It comes back to you tenfold. Give the skycap your flight details the moment you step out of the car. Then say this: security looks backed up and I have a connection. Is there a supervisor who can help with expedited screening options? Early, calm, direct. That one sentence puts you on the right radar before you walk through the door. Now, before we continue, has any of this caught you off guard at an airport? Drop it below. I bet it has. Hit subscribe so you never miss these, and trust me, the next 3 are the ones you actually came here for. Number 3, the free TSA hotline most seniors never call. This one genuinely surprises people. TSA runs a dedicated assistance line called TSA Cares, 1-855-787-2227, built specifically for travelers with medical conditions, disabilities, or mobility challenges. You call at least 72 hours before departure, explain your situation, and they assign a passenger support specialist to meet you personally at the checkpoint on travel day. This person walks through the entire screening process with you. They don't skip you to the front, but they make sure you're not left standing in a processing queue for an hour and a half. They stay until you're through. They speak to officers on your behalf. A man in his late 60s with Parkinson's used TSA Cares flying out of Dallas last year. Said it was the first flight he'd taken in years where he didn't feel like a problem to be solved. That program exists. It's federally funded, completely free, and airlines will never mention it because it has nothing to do with them. Wild. Save 1-855-787-2227 on your phone right now. Call 72 hours out. Not the morning of. Have your flight number, terminal, and departure time ready when you dial. Number 2, the $78 fix that ends. This problem for good. Pre-check lanes are moving in under 10 minutes at most airports right now. Standard lanes, 2 to 5 hours. That gap is not closing anytime soon. The online application takes 10 minutes. The in-person appointment, fingerprints and ID, takes another 10. Most people get approval back in 3 to 5 days, and if your travel is within the week, call the nearest enrollment center directly. Some locations have same-day appointments available right now because the shutdown has driven a surge in new applications. $78 for 5 full years. That's $15.60 a year to never stand in a 5-hour line again. Flying internationally? Global entry includes everything PreCheck does plus customs reentry, only $22 more. Go to tsa.gov/precheck today. Not next time you book a trip. Today. Number 1, your federal rights at that checkpoint. This is the one that makes everything else on this list matter. Federal law gives every traveler specific protections at TSA checkpoints that most officers will not volunteer. The right to a private screening room, the right to have someone with you during a pat-down, the right to be seated if standing creates pain or injury risk, the right to request a supervisor at any point, no reason required. These are not courtesies. They are not exceptions you have to qualify for. They are federal rights, and using them doesn't slow your screening down. It usually speeds things up because it immediately signals to the officer that you know the process. A woman in her mid-70s with severe osteoporosis was told she had to stand through a full pat-down at a Florida checkpoint. She didn't know sitting was an option. She stood, lost her balance, fractured her wrist on the way down. That stops happening the moment you know what to say. At any point in that checkpoint, look the officer in the eye and say, "I need to be seated for this screening and I'd like a supervisor present. I understand this is my right under TSA policy." Polite, steady, non-negotiable, every single time. The airport is just one piece of it, because once you clear security, airlines have their own set of traps waiting at the gate, and they've quietly updated those too in 2026. That's exactly what I'm breaking down next. It's on the screen right now. See you there.